Now things are kind of getting a little funny. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is asking the Department of Justice, am I under investigation? Is this funny? Yes, it is. It is because, like, look, if you're being investigated by the 5-0, you don't ask the police, the popo, anything. Hey, am I under investigation? Because it just doesn't add up. Okay. So what's going on here? Well, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wrote to the Honorable Pam Bondi, Attorney General of the United States Department of Justice at 950 Pennsylvania Avenue. Dear, hold on. Let's do this right. This was a letter written by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. We're going to read this together like a family should. Dear Attorney General Bondi, I write to request clarity on whether the Department of Justice has yielded to political pressure and attempts to weaponize the agency against elected officials whose speech they disagree with. Over the past 2 weeks, Board Czar Tom Homan has gone on multiple forums threatening political prosecution against me, citing resources I distributed and informing my constituents and the American public of their constitutional and legal rights. On February 13th, 2025, Homan announced that he had asked the Deputy Attorney General to open an investigation and that I will be in trouble now. It has been 14 days since Mr. Homan threatened to weaponize your agency, but I have not yet heard any referral from the federal government. Homan's actions undercut core constitutional rights, and further transparency is necessary. You don't write a letter like this. Never. What's wrong with you, AOC? You don't write a letter like this. You keep things quiet. Yeah, you hope people forget. I'm sure you aware. I'm sure you aware. Wow. I'm sure you are aware. See, AOC, who proofread this for you? I'm sure you aware. I'm sure you are aware of the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Indeed, last week, Vice President Vance said that we may disagree with your views, but we will fight to defend your right to offer it in the public square. Mr. Homan repeated attempts to use your agency to politically intimidate duly elected officials are a textbook threat to the right to free speech in the United States. Threatening criminal proceedings for exercising the First Amendment is itself a violation of the First Amendment. Educating the public about their rights, especially in a time of rising uncertainty, is key part of our responsibility as elected officials. As government that uses threats to the Department of Justice investigations to suppress free speech is a threat to all, regardless of political ideology. Please respond no later than March 5th, 2025, with an update on the Department of Justice response to Mr. Homan's request and transparency as to whether my office or myself is actively under investigation for exercising their First Amendment rights and executing on our congressional responsibilities. Sincerely, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. There you go. So there's AOC. AOC is asking if she's being investigated. Now, Soul Construct writes, conjunction, junction, what's your function? AOC, I don't know. And just give me some truth says AOC doesn't know her ABCs. Absolutely. Let's see. AOC, where are Medicare for all and $15 an hour wage you promised? This letter is so savage. AOC is bringing the ruckus, as she should. Oof words are violence. And I'm starting a kazoo band. Audience, be nice. Be nice. We should all write a letter. Everybody. If you're going to be writing a letter, and especially if it's a letter of importance, you don't rat yourself out and you don't bring more investigation or eyeballs on there, okay? Now, at least how the media is breaking it down, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is responding to what Tom Homan was initially addressing towards Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, such as, of course, giving advice to migrants who are afraid of being rounded up by ICE. So I do want to bring up this video here where Tom Homan was addressing AOC And so no argument here, but I just want to pull this up here because I do find it just a little bit funny. A tiny bit funny because it is funny. It's funny to me. It's funny to me and should be funny to all of you as well. So let's pull this up here.
Well, first of all, I think she's, I won't go after her on
Tom, please do. Please do. Say what's on your mind. It's a holiday.
Look, she's the dumbest congresswoman ever elected to Congress, and she proves that every day. And look, bottom line is, I can't believe any member of Congress, Republican, Democrat, Independent, would want to educate criminal illegal aliens who are in the country illegally, been convicted of a violent crime, and have been ordered removed by an immigration judge after due process at great taxpayer expense. You got a congressman or congresswoman that does not want ICE to do the job that Congress has mandated them to do and funds them to do.
I want to pull up this other video here as well, where the talk of having the Department of Justice investigate AOC, which, if it's not going to happen now, if it was 14 days, you haven't heard anything, nothing's going to happen.
But, Tom, you got AOC out there, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Congresswoman, putting out a webinar, doing a webinar to help illegals avoid, I guess, apprehension, giving tips about how to continue to remain in the country and ultimately game the system.
And I sent an email today to the Deputy Attorney General. At what level is that impediment? Is that impediment? I'm not an attorney. I'm not a prosecutor. Is that impediment? Is that impeding our law enforcement efforts? If so, what are we going to do about it?
I'm sorry, but this is gold right here. Man, when even the thing from Fantastic Four shite talks you on live news, you know you effed up. It's clobbering time.
Is she crossing the line? So I'm working with the Department of Justice and finding out where is that line that they cross. So maybe AOC is going to be in trouble now, but I need the AOG to opine on that. But because there's impediment, it's impediment in my opinion. I'm not a prosecutor, but we need some further guidance on that. But again, if we have to take every federal dollar out of the city, we'll do it. I mean, we're done. This is about public safety. This is about community safety. Knowingly releasing a public safety back in the public is just stupid. You're putting the public at great risk. You're putting our officers at great risk. You're even putting the illegal alien at great risk because anything can happen on arrest on the street. So we just want to make common sense. In sanctuary cities, they want to step aside. We're coming. We're going to do it for you. If you don't want to make your community safer, President Trump's going to.
And so AOC is now asking, is she under investigation or not? If she's trying to make it about herself, she's not going to be helping out anybody in her district, nor is she going to be helping out any of her constituents if this is something that she wants to run on. Because when you want to highlight and tell the world, hey, look at me, am I under investigation? Yeah, that doesn't help you out with your case. That doesn't help you out with your entire situation. And more importantly, it doesn't make you look good in front of the opposition. Because if AOC is going to make this about her or her trying to be fake the arrest again, because we've seen AOC get arrested, even though there were no handcuffs on her, it's all for show. Why would you want to write this letter? Why are you upset that people are no longer talking about you? That people are moving on? That's how the internet works. That's how the world works. I mean, that's 24/7 news cycle. Eventually, people move on. But think about the gall and the arrogance of it, just to write a letter. 14 days have passed. If you didn't get something in the first 2 days, usually you leave it alone.